G'day guys, Googs here. I've been looking at a lot of the arguments being put towards me and just in general around the whole idea of the fact that we need to put in a vote for homosexuals getting marriage equality. Okay. Now, the interesting thing is I feel a lot of people going, well, we should just give it to them. That's an interesting argument, except for the fact that it won't work. And here's why. Under our Constitution, the Australian Constitution, in order for something to become law, it needs to be voted for either in the Senate or, in this case, a plebiscite, which gives you your public opinion and then later voted in the Senate. Okay? That's for a law to change, and marital laws are just that, a law. However, if you wanted to then go and say, we want the government to be able to just give people rights, in this case it's homosexual marriage equality rights. However, that could mean anything, because what you need to do is amend the Constitution then to say that when it comes to human rights, the government of this time or any other time then has the right to arbitrarily grant those people rights, whatever those rights may be. And I'm not saying they'll be used in a negative way, but there's always that opportunity. However, here's your really big kicker beyond that, just that one problem, which is huge. It's this: to change the Constitution, A, you need to get a bill put through the Senate in order to change the Constitution. Sounds good. B, then you have to set up a public referendum. Everyone goes to the polls. And then C, upon that, then there is a further vote in the Senate to change the Constitution. Okay? This is a huge, huge dilemma. You are not just asking to change laws here. You are talking about changing the entire Australian Constitution legal framework when it comes to this issue of human rights and towards legislation in general. So, if we think of it from that perspective, this could end up a slippery slope. What happens if we get a really badly right-wing parliament in who decides that a right-wing group should have rights as a person, for example? That gives a whole lot of problems. What if the left-wing government comes in and does the same thing to a left-wing group? Okay, once you let the cat out of the bag and you say certain demographics can just arbitrarily be given rights, that's your problem. Okay? And the whole idea of the referendum, that's so expensive. Now, I don't usually worry about money when it comes to liberty, and I still don't. However, the whole process would cost billions. We're talking billions of dollars. And it can be challenged, by the way, in both the Supreme and the High Courts of this land as well. You could be looking at billions of dollars over years to change the Constitution in this manner, rather than just having a plebiscite and us moving forward. And one last thing I'd like to address. I've seen a lot of people who have going to vote no, for example, and they say, well, look, we're going to vote no, but if the yes vote comes in, we're going to be pissed off because it didn't go our way. But, okay, fine, that's the way people want it to be. On the other hand, I've seen lots of people who said they're going to vote yes, and if the no vote comes through in the plebiscite, we're going to riot, we're going to be violent, we're going to be horrible until we get our way. If you're one of those people who are on the yes side who say these things, you are anti-democratic. You are illiberal, and you stand against the tenets of this nation. You at that point become my and everybody else who believes in democracy and liberalism as a principle, okay, or libertarianism as a principle. You are against us. Violence begets violence. We have seen this in America recently. The last thing I want to see for anybody, specifically for the homosexual population in this country, is a semi-civil war enacted on their behalf where they will ultimately be the targets. If the vote comes through no, it still has to go through the Senate. If the vote goes through yes, it still has to go through the Senate, okay? So for these people, you need to take a chill pill. Okay? And for the no people who feel the same way as these yes people who are going to commit violence, don't. The last thing anybody needs is sectarian violence over this issue. That would be just pointless, ridiculous, and a waste of time. Anyway, there's my thoughts on this particular issue. I'm Googs. Have yourself a fantastic day, and we'll catch you next time. Uru.